sitwasyon. Siguro mas matakot tayo kung wala tayong naramdaman na takot sa mga ganong pagkakataon.
Iba-iba, may ibang natakot, ibang nataranta.
Like kung okay pa ba ang pagtulog, and at the same time nagkakaroon ba ng disorientation sa pag-iisip.
Being unproductive na, nagkakaroon na ng hindi na pumapasok sa office due to the fear na baka mangyari uli yung nangyaring natural disaster.
Pag-uusapan po natin yung mga na-experience natin during earthquake that hit General Santos City, and even sa Soc Sergeant, I believe it's like parang Soc Sergeant White talaga na malakas yung lindol. We will debunk all the thoughts and conceptions ng ating mga citizens dito sa Gensan kung ano nga ba ang normal reactions ng body natin, and of course differentiate it with the PTSD and ASD, which is psychologically parang ito yung medyo vulnerable for everyone.
Yeah, in the midst of earthquake or any natural disaster, it's an unusual situation. And in every abnormal situation or unusual situation, there will always be an abnormal emotion coming from us. We are not used to it. So this abnormal situation would lead to abnormal reaction. So yung na-feel natin na fear, yung takot, yung kaba, yung bilis ng heartbeat natin during and even after the earthquake, I can say that is normal. It is normal, no? Normal na matakot, normal na kabahan sa mga ganong sitwasyon. Walang mali sa atin kung sakaling ganun yung naging reaction natin sa mga ganong sitwasyon. Siguro mas matakot tayo kung wala tayong naramdaman na takot sa mga ganong pagkakataon, no? But what's alarming is this is should we say region-wide disaster na halos tayong lahat ay nakaranas ng ganitong emotion, no? Negative emotion, which is very important na ma-address, na ma-process natin, kasi kung hindi, pwede itong magdulot ng mas malalang psychological conditions or mental health problem. Itong mga emosyon na to ay normal, but if we will not be able to process and address it, this may lead to a bigger mental health problem.
Ayan, so kailangan talaga na may agarang respond for this matter. Siguro ako lang parang first hand I've witnessed and I've seen how people reacts, iba-iba, may ibang natakot, ibang nataranta, yung iba naman kalmado, and yun parang nagiging trend na din siya sa mga online posts ngayon, na ang daming tumatawag na sa Panginoon. This will be the time na nagiging religious na tayong lahat, and actually that's part of our parang instinct and normal reactions na din po natin. And also one thing that I love about being Filipino is we know how to help others kahit na tayo kailangan din natin ng tulong. Despite what happened, may ibang tao na they manage to calm themselves, to control their emotions, and prefer to or chose to help others, May mga natumba, may mga tumulong din sa kanila, especially yung ating mga frontliners, na tao din sila, may emotion din sila, pero dahil tawag ng dahil duty nila na mag-respond sa mga biktima, kailangan nila talagang unahin yung iba kaysa sarili nila. And talagang saludo ako sa mga frontliners natin, sa mga kapulisan, sa mga medical practitioners natin. And this time, it is of course our duty na rin to respond. And lastly, siguro talagang nakita natin yung unity ng community natin, Parang the word community, may unity talaga, And doon natin nakita na kahit anong mangyari, we are one community, we have to help each other. And that's the best thing na na-observe ko rin during that trying times.
So, based from the DSM-5 or our diagnostic manual, before we diagnose a person with post-traumatic, there would be assessment also to provide, and also evaluation. So most likely ang post-traumatic stress disorder is real disorder that develops from a person who experienced traumatic events. So for example, yung earthquake, so nagkaroon ng trauma, di ba? So some people witness deaths and some people experience yung biglang pag-shake. So ang common na symptoms nila, there would be disorientation and also panic, anxiety, as nag-escalate yung anxiety nila, and also there will be a high stress level. So kagaya ng nga ni sabi ni Sir Kutin, nagkakaroon tayo ng flight and fight mode. Okay? So kaya lang dito kasi sa post-traumatic stress disorder, after a month, kapag ganun pa rin ating condition or symptoms, doon na tayo magwawarrant ng post-traumatic stress disorder. So, kapag within a week naman, so most likely, pwede siyang i-diagnose with acute stress disorder. So, ang acute stress disorder kasi is same symptoms with post-traumatic stress disorder, but ang ano lang kasi tinitingnan natin ang duration. So, ilang beses na ba nagkaroon ka ng panic attacks? And also, like kung okay pa ba ang pagtulog, and at the same time nagkakaroon ba ng disorientation sa pag-iisip. Okay, so most likely the causes of the PTSD is, it's not only from the natural events or natural disasters, it is also connected with the sexual assault and physical abuse or a bad accident. So, ganun yung parang experience ng tao merong PTSD and symptoms with it.
Ayan, no? So talagang, it's about the duration, no?
Yes.
And actually, kailangan din po natin, ito, especially po sa ating mga medical practitioners, sa ating mga community mobilizers, na it should be 3 to 5 days after the incident, dapat magkakaroon po tayo ng debriefing. No? Ayan, correct, that's correct. No, 3 to 5 days after the event, dapat may debriefing para at least we can assess the experiences and kamusta na po yung mga biktima po natin. And yun, na-mention po ni Sir Leo, yung ating psychologist, na kapag 1 week, ganun pa rin yung na-experience natin, might be pwede siyang ma-warrant natin ng acute stress disorder. And if 1 month, ganun pa rin yung nangyari, mag-escalate na, parang lalala na talaga, it would go down to PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder na talagang dapat kailangan nating iwasan. At yun yung gusto nating di talaga mangyari. So, dapat 3 to 5 days, dapat alam na natin kung ano yung i-assess natin for these victims.
Well, nandyan yung kasi during natural disaster, nadi-disrupt yung ating sense of security, di ba? So, with this heightened alertness, heightened emotion, may mga pagkakataon na hindi natin nagagawa yung mga usual na ginagawa natin. Yung mga basic things that we usually do. For example, hindi na makatulog ng maayos, ba? Or na-disrupt yung kanyang sleeping pattern. Or wawala ng ganang kumain. Or the other way around, kain ng kain. Diba? So, that might be an indicator of a person na may nagkaroon ng traumatic experience. Diba? Or mas malala, baka hindi na nagagawa yung usual na work niya, ba yung ginagawa niya sa office, from being productive to being unproductive na, nagkakaroon na ng hindi na pumapasok sa office due to the fear na baka mangyari uli yung nangyaring natural disaster na yon. So that could be one of the early signs na ang isang tao ay nagsasuffer ng trauma with regards to the previous experience niya.
Oo. And you know what's very alarming din, no? Kasi hindi ito sa atin lang adult, no, or sa mga young adults, but also sa children. And I've received messages from teachers and parents na may mga students na they told their parents na dili na ko magsulod kay mahadlok na sila, no. And napakahirap bigay ng intervention sa mga bata, no, kasi yung ginagawa natin sa kanila is play therapy. And with that, parang napakahirap na i-engage yung mga children na maintindihan yung ganitong pangyayari. Basta ang feeling lang talaga nila, takot lang sila. Tapos pag feeling nila nasa school sila, they are unsafe, no? And of course, may mga messages din, may mga post na rin. Actually, at first, parang di ako personally, wala man gud ko nagatuoda yun, basta isa lang ang nagsulti. Pero kapag marami na, kasi may mga nagpo-post na din na naririnig pa nila yung mga boses, especially yung students natin from RMMC and Golden State College who are situated sa Lagao Gymnasium at yung RMMC naman sa KCC Convention. They can still hear the voices na narinig nila during those panic times. And talagang alarming siya kasi it's been like 2 days, 3 days now na ganun pa rin nag-experience nila. Hopefully, yung mga victims natin, no, they will seek for professional advice for that. Thank you so much.
The reason kasi why children are one of the most vulnerable is because they do not have yet the coping strategies.
Oo.
Wala pa silang coping mechanism. Unlike us adult, we already have established yung mga coping strategies natin. Ano bang ginagawa natin kapag stress tayo, kapag takot tayo, sino ba yung mga lalapitan natin. Unlike sa mga bata, probably for most, ito yung first earthquake na na-experience nila. So they do not know how to process the emotion yet. Diba? And especially the parents have a big role on this. Diba? So what if the parents also experience trauma, diba? Parang napakahirap na yung ganong sitwasyon sa isang family. That's why it's really kailangan talaga magkaroon ng intervention coming from different offices, government offices, private, from schools, diba? Kailangan, yung nga sabi mo kanina, ito yung pagkakataon na lumalabas yung ating solidarity, yung ating unity, diba? Na talagang kahit hindi na sabihan, talagang gumagawa tayo ng paraan paano tulungan yung mga kasama natin na nangangailangan, no? Whether physiological needs, psychological needs, talagang nakikita yung pagtutulong-tulungan natin sa mga ganitong pagkakataon.
It is also time, no, na kailangan talaga natin mag-reflect sa mga life natin. Kasi people will reflect, no, kapag parang sa outliers ng life nila, those happiest moments and those very down na talaga na moment. And sometimes nakakalimutan talaga natin mag-reflect.
Okay. Regarding with that, there are generally group criteria or 4 types na para ma-diagnose or kumbaga makitaan talaga ng PTSD symptoms. First is the intrusive memories. So, ang intrusive memories are the flashbacks of the event. So, as you have said earlier kanina, sabi mo may naririnig pa sila at saka at the same time parang nauulit yung mga experience nila. So, these are intrusive memories or flashbacks, and also their emotion theme is very sad and at the same time anxious. So, next is avoidance, yung pag-iwas sa mga lugar na kung saan yung traumatic event. For example, yung may nakita ako nag-post, ayaw na nang bumalik sa isang mall kasi na parang nagkakaroon siya ng flashbacks. So these are avoidance behavior. And at the same time, another criteria is the negative changes in thinking and mood. So once na isang tao is merong PTSD, nagkakaroon siya ng cognitive dissonance. Okay? So at the same time, yung parang thinking niya is very negative and anxious. So feeling niya, kahit gumalaw lang ng konti yung kahit pangupuan or ang kahit anong bagay na nakikita niya, feeling niya may lindol na. So in this way, nako-condition ng brain, and at the same time, ito yung negative thinking na or negative intrusive thoughts. And another is yung mood. Sa mga tao may PTSD, meron silang irritability on their behavior, and at the same time, madali silang nainis sa mga bagay-bagay or kahit konting ingay na magre-remind sa kanila ng ganitong traumatic events. And also changes in physical and emotional reaction. So kung ngari, ang iba is very happy sila before, pero now nung nagkaroon sila ng PTSD or traumatic experience, nagiging malungkotin na sila at saka at the same time parang bugnutin. Okay? So these are the emotional or changes in the emotional aspect. And sa physical aspect naman, ang iba nagkakaroon ng yung skin diseases na problem or skin problems, and at the same time yung iba yung nasosobra ng balakubak. Okay, these are the sign of I'm not saying na yung may mga balakubak na siya ng PTSD ha. I'm just saying that yung bang parang nagkaroon siya na not before, like unlike before, diba? So may mga ganon kasi manifestation din ito ng stress or high stress level. So and also sa mga matatanda or sa mga adult, there are what we call hypervigilance. So every night hindi sila makatulog ng maayos kasi iniisip nila mauulit-ulit yung ganitong
Oo.
traumatic. So those behavior is affecting also the brains. So kaya nga nagkakaroon ng disorientation and at the same time hindi na sila nakakabalik sa kanilang normal ways or normal life nila. So that's why we need really to abruptly provide a PFA or psychological first aid, at the same time a counseling or a treatment plan to them. Okay? Kasi nga pwede kasi ang PTSD, pwede siyang ma-comorbid or magkaroon ng co-occurrence with other mental health. For example, ang mga PTSD is most likely to have a depressed feelings, and at on the long run, pwede silang magkaroon ng MDD or major depressive disorder. And for that, pag meron kang MDD, meron talaga yan silang suicidal tendencies. So which would be a big problem na kailangan i-cope ng bawat pasyente or client natin.
Kaya dapat siguro, sir, no, wag po natin gawing biro yung mga na-experience na pinopost din ng mga friends natin. Kasi sometimes people keep on parang
making memes.
Making memes, no? Ginahimo nila nga joke ang post sa uban nga arte-arte lang daw, no? And of course, I believe yun din yung pag-uusapan natin yan mamaya, no? And of course, focus tayo dun sa question mo. So, na-excite ako kasi parang ang dami talaga natin dapat na pag-usapan tungkol dito. Ayan. And of course, no, feeling ko rin, pwede ba, sir, magkaroon siya o ka ng agoraphobic ka na bitang, pwede siya, no?
Tsaka social anxiety. Kasi nga, 'di ba, yung katulad ng mga students sa Ramon, 'di ba?
Oo.
Naka-experience sila nagkaroon sila ng panic with a lot of people. So there would be a conditioning na kapag nasa marami silang tao, there would be a condition sa kanilang brain or sa kanilang behavior na mauulit ganito ang traumatic experience. So that would be also another dealing na co-occurring with the PTSD.
Oo. Ayan. And of course, ay na-mention ko na yung agoraphobic. Baka hindi alam ng iba. Yung agoraphobic or agoraphobia, yan po yung fear, yung intense fear po ng isang tao in a public or an open space. And yung takot niya talaga is walang help na available. Kaya minsan, siguro yung mga taong mga ganito is talagang ayaw na ayaw nila sa mga open spaces.
Yes.
Oo. Ayan.
Okay. Na-mention ko kanina about ang psychosocial support or the PFA, the psychological first aid. So ito talaga yung dapat ibibigay diretso or directly sa mga tao or pasyente natin. Okay, ano nga ba itong PFA or psychological first aid? So ito ay isang approach na kailangan ibigay sa mga tao or sa mga naapektuhan ng isang disaster or isang devastating event like the earthquake. So ang mangyayari dito is yung bang magkakaroon ng intervention at a little bit screening kung ano yung condition niya, at saka tinitingnan natin kung ano nga ba yung other na pangangailangan pa ng isang tao. Hindi lamang kasi na mental health aspect ng isang tao. Meron din kasi yung yung kumbaga kunwari sa nutrition, okay? Or ano pa yung kanang clothing. So yung mga basic needs kailangan din i-provide during the PFA as part of the treatment. So after that, kung merong mga nakitaan na or kailangan parang i-provide, ibibigay yan, and then i-refer siya sa mga tao or sa mga professionals or institution na siyang magbibigay ng support. So ganun ang PFA. Another is yung psychosocial support or services or yung mga approaches. So eto naman, ang gagawin naman is yung parang ibabalik sila sa kanilang condition. So most likely yung mga ganitong experience ng tao, they are disoriented and at the same time yung bang questioning about themselves, and sometimes may anxiousness and sadness. And ang iba nga ay merong anger with the Lord. May mga ganong aspeto. So ganon, i-provide yun, ipaprocess. At the same time, tinitingnan kung ano pa ba ang pwede nating mabigay sa bawat tao. Okay? So and sometimes yung mga taong ito, meron din silang mga emotional distress. So in this way, there would be a processing also, and also a little bit treatment with that. Most likely sa mga Pilipino naman we are very resilient, pero tinitingnan talaga natin baka yung mga aspeto ng bawat tao.
Kung alam mo kung ano yung mga dapat gawin during these trying times, huwag mong solokin. No? I-share mo rin sa iba. Kasi the moment we express this information is also a manifestation that we love and we care this person.
Sa pamilya muna tayo,
Mm-mm.
no? Kailangan nating magkaroon ng high level of awareness with one another, no? Meron bang mga pagbabago sa behavior
Mm-mm.
ng mga kasama natin? Because that could be one indicator
Mm-mm.
of problem,
Mm-mm.
mental health problem. So, we need to be observant sa mga kasama natin sa bahay, lalo na yung mga bata. They are the most vulnerable with this disaster. Even those adult na meron ng pinagdadaan ng mental health problem, they are also vulnerable. Even those adult na yung merong accumulated grief, they will not able to process the previous negative emotions that they experienced. Sila yung mga vulnerable and prone to a mental health problem with regards to this natural disaster. So kailangan natin magkaroon ng high level of awareness with one another, empathy, di ba? Kahit sa mga kasama natin, colleagues, katrabaho, kaklase. What's good naman kasi on the other hand, with every disaster, lumalabas yung ating yung solidarity, as I mentioned a while ago. No, so talagang nandiyan yung pagtutulungan natin, yung care natin sa bawat isa, na talagang kahit survival mode tayo, talagang tutulong tayo, walang may iwan, di ba? At sana yun yung manatili dahil ganoon naman talaga eh. At the end of the day, tayo rin na magtutulungan. So, we just need to have a more structured na paraan ng pagtutulungan.
Sa mga kaibigan natin, sa pamilya natin, tsaka sa mga community or sa ating mga institution kung saan man tayo, help is always available. So, with this Project Aruga, willing po kaming mag-provide ng mga psychoeducation. At the same time, there would be a counseling or the psychological first aid. So, I hope with this awareness, so you can reach out with this through your friends, family, and also the other community. And in this such way, nakakatulong tayo kahit na sa mga simpleng bagay lang, like pag-like at share nito.
Ayan. So yun talaga dapat nating makatutukan, no, during these trying times. We have to care for each other and check out, no, kung ano mga ba yung mga changes, no, from the experiences of our families and friends. Ayan. And of course, we have one last question, no. This is actually a very important question na we have to address din kasi ang daming mga taong hindi siguro takot, no, na lumapit, pero they don't just know how, where, when, and ano nga ba yung mga dapat nilang malaman just to seek for professional help. For individuals who may not recognize the signs of PTSD in themselves or their loved ones, what advice can you offer in terms of seeking professional help or support? So, ayun, so from the perspective of Sir Brian, ano kayong natin?
Yes, a while ago, Sir Leo and I were able to discuss yung mga early signs. So, with those early signs, siguro, our approach to mental health should not be curative, it should be preventive. So with those early signs, wag nating i-deny na baka may problema. Let's consider it na those early signs as a sign for us to seek mental health. Mental health support from people in the community of mental health, diba? So yung mga ganitong situation, mga ganitong times na halos lahat tayo affected nakaramdam ng matinding takot, walang masama na lumapit tayo sa isang mental health professional. And right now, I guess hindi lang naman itong Project Aruga nagpo-provide ng mga mental health support. Kailangan lang nating magkaroon ng maging aware lang tayo sa mga tulong na available, no? Maging open tayo sa mga help na available with regards to mental health, na kapag meron tayong nararamdaman o yung sa tingin natin yung ating kasama sa bahay ay may nararamdamang may pagbabago sa kanyang behavior, ilapit na natin sa mga mental health professional, no, like this Project Aruga.
Ayun, Sir Leo naman.
So, kailangan nating kagaya ng sinabi ni Sir Kutin, kailangan maging aware tayo sa ating mga kasama. At the same time, tingnan natin kung baka meron tayong symptoms nito, okay? Or meron tayong acute stress disorder or meron tayong post-traumatic stress. Okay? So sa Project Aruga, meron kaming pinrovide na QR code na meron doong assessment tool or screening tool kung sa tingin niyo kung meron kayo. So pwede niyo po yung i-scan or i-download po. And also again, help is always available. So kaming nasa Project Aruga, willing po kami mag-provide para po sa inyo.
It should be preventive, not curative, no? Kasi iniiwasan po talaga natin yung mga prolonged and worse na mga po pwedeng mangyari. And yun, sabi pa nga ni Sir Leo, no, kailangan talaga nating i-check out, no, kung ano nga ba yung mga na-experience natin. And to end this, I would like to remind everyone, if life gives you waves, learn how to surf it. So these are just challenges that will test our capacity. So let's help one another, and thank you so much for listening with us.